Hey, look, check this out. It's Saturday, right? I'm about to pull up on my first property for the day. Only thing I got to do today, I got to cut one property. I'm really getting ahead on my Monday route. I'm going to cut one property. I got to go trim some shrubs, and then I got to go drop one palm tree in the ground. Look, this is in lawn care. Like, you think about this. Everybody that own a house at some point have to get the grass cut. Whether they do it themselves or whether they hire somebody else, right? And over time, you can get over time, I'm gonna be honest. When I meet a person and I talk to a person, I can tell if they can afford to get the grass cut or not. I can tell. But you don't want to cast judgment on somebody and be like, man, they can't afford lawn care, I ain't gonna do the proper. But in a sense, you have to do that. You have to do it. Because I'm gonna give you a few examples this year on look, it's a few people that owe me money for their property, and I'm not gonna run them down for the money because they can't afford it. You know, I mean, why would I? Now, if you can afford it, that's a whole nother ball game. For instance, I cut this guy's property, right? He was cutting it himself. His mower tore up, and he have a property. His grass grows extremely fast. So you know when your lawnmower tear up, you try and fix it yourself, and then you look up 2-3 weeks went by. Well, anyway, this guy, he called me. I went and looked at the property. I said, look, man, the property overgrown. It's gonna be $300 to get it in shape. He was fine with that. So I cut it, and he was like, well, man, what did it be to maintain it? And I gave him the price to maintain it. And now, me talking to the guy, me looking at the whole situation, I said, bro, he can't afford to get on no schedule. He was like, well, I guess let's do it. So boom, I cleaned the property up, put him on the schedule. Now, when I cleaned the property up, look, everybody paid the first bill. Clean the property up, he paid. Put him on a schedule. He was like 4 days late with the money. All right. Hit it again on the schedule for the next go round. I think that was my turn. Was that my turn? That was my turn, but I catch the next one. Put him on the schedule. Paid the first time. Look, he paid the first time. Slow paying the second time, slow paying the third time. I said, yeah, I ain't going back. But then I said, well, he did pay you, bro. You might well go back. And I knew. So, boom, I went and cut it again. And then a week go by, didn't get the money. 2 weeks go by, didn't get the money. 3 weeks go by, didn't get the money. And I ain't tripped because I said to myself, bro, people can't afford. They want lawn care, but they can't afford it. So you have to kind of get to that mentality where, like, bro, call somebody else. You can't afford lawn care. So I didn't hound him about the money. He know he owed me money. I just whatever. And I've had several cases like that this year. It's like y'all need to just cut your grass yourself because you cannot afford lawn care. It's just the simple fact that you're too lazy to go do it yourself, and you want somebody else to do it, but you can't afford to get it done. And that's why I say don't work for poor people. It's not the fact that you're being mean. It's a simple fact. These people cannot afford lawn care, but they don't want to do it themselves. And again, and I can read people, I can see this, but instead of now, next year is gonna be a whole nother ball game. If I see you can't afford it, I'm not even gonna put your property on the schedule, which I just done recently. Clean this guy property up. Now look, I cleaned the guy property up. Clean the guy property up. Now, again, with a new property, it depends. Sometimes with a new property, sometimes I make the people pay up front, and sometimes I just send it on the back end. So I picked up this new property. I'm sitting outside the guy's house, talking to him on the phone. I said, look, it what I told him. I think it was like $425 his first cut. I said, look, man, I'm gonna send the invoice. Whenever you pay that invoice, I go ahead and do the work. And he was like, look, man, he said, I don't have any money in my account. I got cash. He said, if you meet me at the house in the morning, he said, if you meet me at the house in the morning, I had the cash and you can take care of it. He said, just come back tomorrow, I had the cash. And I'm saying to myself, bro, I'm not coming back tomorrow. I said, man, how long will it take you to get the cash in the account? He was like, well, this was like a Friday. You know, he was like, by the time I get out of work, man, the bank will be closed, blah, 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 this, whatever. So I just went ahead, done it, and sent him an invoice. I said, man, just pay the invoice, you know, Monday or something, whenever you get the money in the bank. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday rolled around. Friday, I reached out to him. Hey, man, was you able to pay the invoice? He said, man, I was really trying to wait till my roommate came up with their half. But he went ahead and paid it. I said to myself, he can't afford a lawn care. So he was like, man, think I can get on the schedule? I asked him, I said, will you and your roommate be paying this invoice? He said, yeah, you know, he gonna give me half and then I just pay the whole lot. I never went back because I already know how this gonna go out. I already know how this gonna play. So I didn't even go back and he never called me and I just left it at that. And from here on out, if I sense you're poor, I'm not working for you. Let me just be honest. I'm telling you, when I talk to people and see people, I know who can afford lawn care. And I'm fixing to show y'all something. This house right here I'm doing, I've never met this person. They live out of town. She told me she was paying the guy to maintain the property. He was taking her money and never doing the work. I have the property now. I send her an invoice. She pay it all the time, no problem. The people on the side of this house, they want lawn care. They want lawn service from me. They can't afford lawn service. The reason I say they can't afford lawn service is because I see how they living. I see exactly how they living. I've already talked to them. So nah, they're used to living in filth. Okay, and I can guarantee any kind of money they're renting this house. I can guarantee any kind of money they behind on their rent. When you listen, when you in a service-based business, I don't care. Y'all say you stereotyping. When you're in a service-based business, you can see who can afford your service. Look, you can see who can afford your service. Who can afford your service? Who can't afford your service? Who's poor? Who have money but it's cheap? And who don't care, just get it done. You can see all.